Hello YouTube, this is T Walker aka Tanner, gonna do a video for you today on my new magic system. Well, kind of new magic system. It's similar, but I've made some changes. I'm gonna tell you about it because that's what I feel like doing. So, where we left off with what I've told you before is the magic system has changed. There used to be a lot of different things, and now there's not. There's um, four main categories: physical, mental, spiritual, and time. And I explained what they did in the past video, but if you choose a power, like, a power in one of those, you can control everything that goes along with one of those, except, brain waves or the electrical impulses in the brain with physical. No, that's a mental thing. You can't, no doing that. No. So, that gets me to this. That's where we left off on magic. But those are the flexible powers. However, also in this, you can choose to buy set abilities or spells. And spells are fixed things. They're not flexible like the other things. They do a set number. Or they do a set thing always and forever. They will always do that one thing. So, I made this piece of paper, which, if you can see, has a lot of boxes on it. And I'm going to explain to you what those boxes do. So, there are 5 factors that go in when making a spell. 5 main factors. And these factors are potency, duration, target, area, and distance. Potency is the spell's raw effect, the damage it deals. I'm going to use damage as my my example just because it's easier, but invisibility has a certain potency. Different levels of healing have certain potencies. Turning into a bird has a certain potency. So potency, you measure that. Duration, how long do you want the spell to last? Alright? For damage, each round it will deal its damage. So if you make it last 3 rounds, it's gonna if your potency is 9 damage, right? And your duration is 3 rounds. Each round for 3 rounds it's gonna deal 9 damage. Right? 27 damage. It's 27 damage total. Cool. Target, this is how many targets you can use how many targets you can target with your spell. Area, how much area around you or the targets that you can cast up onto, and the distance away from you. Right? And you saw a whole bunch of boxes. Right? And each box has a number under it. So you look for the number you want, and that's where you mark off the boxes. Right? So say you want to deal 12 damage, which is a lot in my system. So you look under there, oh, well that's 4 boxes under potency, so you'd mark all those off. Alright? You don't want it to last any duration, you just want a straight nuke. So you don't mark any duration. Alright? 1 target, you'd mark off 1 on the targeting thing. So that's bringing you up to 5 boxes you've marked off total. No area. And you want it in a range of 15 feet, which is 3 boxes in distance. So, 4 plus 1 plus 3 equals 8. So you've marked off 8 boxes. Alright? Now, when purchasing this ability for your character, no matter what, it will always cost 1 character creation point. Alright? And this is why. The bigger spells cost more energy, which is another change I've made from my old system. It used to be the bigger spells cost more energy and took longer to cast. Now every spell takes the same amount of time to cast. I mean, you can change the amount of time it takes to cast, but I'll get to that in a second. But starting off, it takes the same amount of time to cast. The only thing that goes up is the energy cost. So the spell I just described, the 12 damage in 15 feet, costs 8 energy. Okay? And so, when I'm purchasing it for my character, I spend 1 character creation point, and now I have the spell. And I'm thinking to myself, my character is kind of wimpy. And if I purchase the spell, I don't know if I can keep casting it if it costs 8 energy every time. So let's decrease the energy cost. And you can do this. So maybe I want it to cost 4 less energy. So I go down to this other chart, and there's more boxes down here, and it says decrease in energy. Alright, for the first box it says -2, but remember we wanted -4, so we go to the second box, -4, and we mark off 2 of those boxes. These boxes, for each one I mark off, increases the amount of character creation points it takes to make, or takes to purchase the ability. Remember, it cost 1, but I've now marked off 2 boxes to decrease the energy it costs. So now it costs 3 character creation points, and I have the same spell, it just costs 4 energy instead of 8. Yes, you could do this to buy a spell that costs no energy to cast. It'll just cost you a boatload of character creation points. Now, say I'm looking at that and I'm like, alright, so I have a spell, it costs me 4 energy and 3 character creation points. I don't want it to cost me 3 character creation points. How can I make those go back down to 1? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because you can do that as well. You can increase the time it takes to cast a spell in order to decrease the amount of character creation points it costs for the spell. Remember, to a minimum of 1, right? So I can increase the number of rounds it would take me to cast a spell in order to get myself back down to 1 character creation point it's costing me. Now, I can also, if say I was fine with it costing 8 energy, because I'm a burly energy guy, I've got a lot of it. So, but however, the fact that it was a full round action, I'm not happy with. I can also decrease the time it takes to cast, make it a medium round action or a minor round action, right? To make it into a medium, that costs 1 more character creation point. To make it into a minor, costs 2 more. But say, like I said, again, I don't want to spend 3 character creation points on this, so I can increase the energy it takes to offset that character creation point. So I can increase it by 4 energy to make it cost, sorry, let me think. Oh, increase it by 4 energy to make it cost 2 less character creation points. Cool? Cool. Now, also, you can make abilities passive, right? And to make an ability permanent or passive, having a duration, on to forever, you multiply the time or the character creation points it takes by 2. And you're thinking, okay, are there limitations on this? Yes, there are. For example, there is no healing passive. You cannot give a passive healing. Well, you can give it to yourself. You can have health regeneration for yourself, but you cannot give a healing aura, because that is cheap. And I'd go in to explain it why we came to that decision, but I'm going to skip that because I'm high on time. Okay. Healing aura. Okay, yeah, so there's no healing aura. Also, yeah. So you're asking how the passive abilities work, and this is how they do. So I make a spell, right? It deals 12 damage. Remember, that's 4 blocks in 1 target, 5, and a 15 AoE, 8. So 8 energy. And I choose to make this passive, right? So remember, the spell costs 1, but now that I'm making it passive, it costs 2 more. So it costs 2 character creation points. And you're like, okay, so how does that work? It costs 8 energy, but it's a passive. Well, it will, while I have it active, or actually every time I activate it, and keep it activated, it will take a permanent 8 energy from my energy pool. So if I had 24 energy and I activate this thing that costs 8, now I only, oh god, math, now I only have 16 to use, right? And if I deactivate it, I don't get that energy back. And that's how it works. So, oh, my computer fell asleep. But so that's how it works. But remember, you can also spend points to decrease that energy cost, making it cost more character creation points. Gets kind of hefty in there for a while. But that's passives. It just pretty much doubles the amount the spell costs, and you can have it last forever on anything you want. It procs once every round. So if it was 12 damage and 15 feet on one target, every round, it would damage something in 15 feet of me for 12 damage. As long as I kept it active. It's a good ability. Costs a lot of character creation points and takes a lot off my energy. That's the drawback. So, those are passives. I should say one more thing. That what I was having a problem with is I didn't want a character to make a spell that, you know, had a potency of 1 and a distance of like 5 and a target of 1, so it only costs like 3 energy, you know, and then he, you know, decreased the energy but increased the time. So pretty much he would have a free spell that took a while to cast and healed like 3 damage, but then after the battle just keep using that on all the players until they were full health, because it's, you know, free to cast. So I didn't want that shit happening, because that would be stupid and that would ruin my game. So what we did was this is how we fixed that. We decided that for every spell you buy, right, for every one character, so you spend a character creation point and you buy a spell, you get 1 block. And what that block is it represents how many times you can cast a spell a day. And you get one of these blocks every time you purchase a spell. So say I purchase 3 spells. I get 3 blocks. Right? Did I just do 4 blocks? I don't know. So you get 3 blocks. And what this does is that means of those 3 spells, I can choose to cast, you know, one of them twice and another one once and then the other one 0 times to a total of 3. Or I can cast, you know, one of them 3 times in a day. But I can choose. Like a sorcerer in D&D, I have a list of spells and a number of times I can use them. And what this does is it prevents characters from just casting that, you know, pocket heal all day long after each battle, making everybody full health after the battle. No, you get a few heals a day, right? And so that's what we did to forget that. And now, yes, you can cast more than that, but you get to start rolling complication dice as you cast. So yes, maybe you only have 3 blocks. You can cast that fourth time at major expense to your health and sanity, which will be great fun. So only in a pinch can you cast another spell. Anyway, there's probably a whole bunch of questions you have, because that was kind of scatterbrained, but feel free to leave questions in my comment box and I will answer them to the best of my ability. But that has been the new magic system. Yeah, and I'm hoping this works out better than my other one has been. Anyway, this has been T Walker, aka Tanner, and I am signing off.